What's going on, everybody? Today, we're going to be teaching you how to close your very first $100,000 plus wholesale deal by learning how to wholesale luxury real estate. Now, more than likely, you've never heard anybody talk about wholesaling luxury real estate because the truth is, really nobody knows how to do it, which is a freaking shame because there is so much demand for luxury properties in all the different luxury markets across the United States. In anywhere where they are building houses that are worth over $1 million, there are $100,000 plus assignment fees waiting for you. As you can see right here, where $100,000 is just where it starts. We've seen deals that go as high up to $500,000 in assignment fees from being able to find and source off-market luxury properties for developers then who will tear them down and build some 5,000 square foot multi-million dollar mansion. And exactly in this video, we're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to show you how to pick the best markets for luxury real estate wholesaling, how to generate leads in these markets, how to do the acquisitions and actually sound like a pro, because spoiler alert, it is different than traditional wholesaling, and then how to dispo these luxury deals for, like I said, minimum 100K assignment fees. If you don't know me, my name is Tyson Smith. I started wholesaling in 2020. I've done hundreds of deals in 20 plus states all across the country. I run the most successful, best program for teaching beginners how to get into wholesale real estate, as proven by the multiple students I have making over $100,000 months, students who become literal millionaires with my help. And Matt here, the luxury real estate expert, I'll let you introduce himself.
How's it going? My name is Matthew. I have done millions of dollars in luxury wholesale assignment fees, seeing the massive opportunity that we have in this space. My biggest deals have been upwards of 500,000, like Tyson mentioned, and my average deal size over the last couple of years has been over 100,000. And we're going to show you exactly how to get these same deals, just like we do.
Guys, in this video, we are going to be no BS showing you everything you need to know to learn how to do these deals, okay? We're going to be covering all of the steps. So upon completing this video, you're going to know exactly what to do to go ahead and start wholesaling luxury real estate, okay? This isn't about fluff or hype up or anything like that, just straight tactics showing you exactly what to do. So let's get into it. But before we do, I do want to cover the differences between traditional wholesaling and luxury wholesaling. I know for myself, now that I've done hundreds of deals, is that you're typically looking at making somewhere between 10 and 20K assignment fees. Sure, you'll get those 30, 40, 50K deals, but on a regular traditional property, you're pretty much fighting to make a $10,000 assignment fee. Whereas in luxury wholesaling, we're talking 100K plus assignment fees, with your smallest deals being something like $75,000. Still more than the average starting investment banker will make, okay, on a single deal. Another thing about traditional wholesaling is you have expensive marketing. Guys, I've been there, having to spend $50,000 to $60,000 a month in Google PPC and virtual assistants and meta ads and direct mail and paying for virtual assistants and all of these things just for your company to stay afloat so you have enough leads for you and your team to make calls on. Guys, in luxury wholesaling, it's completely different. Spoiler alert, with luxury wholesaling, you typically are never gonna have to spend more than $2,000, $3,000, maybe $4,000 a month in marketing, depending on how hard you wanna go. That's because there are simply less of these deals. And rather than this machine gun approach where you're just spraying and praying at every house in a given area, trying to see who's willing to sell for cheap, in luxury wholesaling, you're a sniper. We identify exactly which properties are gonna make for good luxury wholesale deals, and we reach out directly to them, and allows us, number one, to save so much time. If you're anything like me, you didn't get into real estate to spend 10 hours a day working, okay? You got into real estate because you wanted financial freedom. Well, when it comes to getting financial freedom, one thing we need to be able to do is do more with our time. And that's the great thing about this, is there are less properties to market to, so you're spending less time and way less money. The next thing is, guys, traditional wholesaling has become extremely saturated. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean there's no money to be made in traditional wholesaling. Obviously, there still is, but doesn't it suck when you get on the phone with a motivated seller, somebody you know is a deal, and then you realize they're talking to 5 other wholesalers and 2 of them don't know what they're doing, and they're offering the seller way more than they're ever gonna be able to get, and then they end up having to cancel on the deal, and then the seller's jaded, and then they end up just listing their house on the market? How many people have run into that? I know it has happened to me countless times. Well, in luxury wholesaling, there's no competition. Nobody else knows how to do this. You're getting on the ground floor of a truly blue ocean market when you watch this video. The next is, with traditional wholesaling, I see a lot of people kind of have mixed transparencies when they're talking to sellers. There is a right and there's a wrong way to do this business, and I feel like most people are doing it the wrong way, where they're being very misleading to sellers. They're acting like they're the buyer, and then they have to dance through all of these hoops to set up showings, and really just acting kind of shady to sellers. Where in luxury wholesaling, you have full transparency. We're letting sellers know off the rip that we work with developers, they understand what's going on, they know we're investors, they know we're making money on the front end of the deal, and there's nothing for us to hide. Even when it comes to talking about the prices with sellers, we don't hide anything. We bring up exactly what these other lots are selling for. We bring up the zestimate of the property because all of these things work in our favor. Because there's so much demand for these development properties, we're oftentimes able to offer them almost what they would get on market value, less their realtor fees and closing costs and things like that. So it allows us to be very transparent, do business in a very scrupulous manner, and that is priceless to me. The next thing is in traditional wholesaling, we're often dealing with dodgy sellers, right? People who are impossible to get back on the phone. They ghost you. They're dealing with a lot of things in life, right? A lot of them, they're going through pre-foreclosure, they're having money issues, maybe they're not paying their cell phone bill. And guys, that can be a headache to deal with, right? Obviously, we're in this business to help those people out, but eventually it becomes draining. Where on the flip side, in luxury wholesale, guys, you're dealing with somebody, this is probably their second, third, fourth, fifth home, right? They're a professional. They're going to respond to your calls. They're going to answer on time. They're going to show up to meetings when they say they will. And you're able to actually run them through the numbers and they get it. Okay. It's just a completely different world when you're dealing with these sellers who understand investment, they understand money, they understand real estate, and you can just talk to them using real estate terms. Next, in traditional real estate, guys, buyers have really small profit margins. Okay, how many times have you had a deal where all of a sudden an unexpected repair came up that the buyer tried to renegotiate you $10, $20, $30,000 on, and it completely killed the deal? If you've never had that, then you're not doing a lot of deals, because it has happened to me countless times. And it's because they have small margins, right? If you are buying a property and you're trying to make, whatever, 30, 40K on the back end after flipping it, every single dollar counts. Your hard money loan costs count. All these unexpected repairs, they count. Well, guess what? Our buyers are dealing with margins where they are making millions of dollars on the back end. So a sudden, even $100,000 repair doesn't even make a dent. Okay. Last thing, guys, in traditional real estate or traditional real estate wholesaling, I see a lot of operators with really bad contract to close ratios. They might lock up 10 deals in a month, but they only close 4 or 5 of them. Well, that's because these things come up. Sellers decide to ghost you. They decide to back out of the deal. Buyers try to renegotiate with you and end the deal. There are title issues that make the deal unable to work, right? Guys, in luxury, it is a very high contract to close ratio. When you get a deal, you know it's closing because you're just not running into those same problems. So with that being said, let's get into the actual meat and potatoes. We're going to show you exactly how to pick a luxury market.
All right, guys, so we are going to make this as simple as possible. What I'm about to show you, you're going to be able to do in any major city in all of the United States. Every single major city has a luxury area. Probably not in rural Arkansas, but every major city out there has one. Let's pick Scottsdale, Arizona, for example, and we'll show you how exactly to find where these builders are building. So we're going to go to Zillow. We are going to get rid of all the filters that are already in here right now. And here's what we're going to do to start finding the new builds. We're going to go to more. We're going to go down to year built. We want to see everything built in the last 2 years. So we're going to hit 2023 just to see where builders are building in these luxury markets. So we do that. We now have all these different pockets that come up. We have a ton of properties up here. We have a ton of properties right here. These are all areas where these builders are building 2 to 5 million. If we get into different markets around the valley, we can see all these different price points. These ones, we're seeing 4 million, 1 million, 700,000. And then we see areas with the big numbers like this right here. Look at all of these luxury properties that have been built in the last 2 years. Let's click on one of them, for example. This property sold for 4.1 million the day after Christmas, just a couple weeks ago. It was 1 acre lot. It was built in 2026. So we're going to go down and figure out, what did these developers that built this luxury property buy the property for originally? It was most likely a tear down, because obviously you can't get a new build without tearing down what's already there or buying a lot itself. So we're going to go down and just look at the price history. Here we go. In June of 2024, this developer purchased this lot for 1.2 million. Let's go look at a few more to get an idea of what they're paying for different properties in this area. This one closed right at the end of 2025 as well, on New Year's Day, a 3/4 acre lot. So what does that tell us right off the bat? It tells us that they're able to exit for over 4 million for 3/4 acre lots and for acre lots. So that opens up what we're going to go find for them to even larger amounts of properties, because it doesn't have to just be an acre. It can be 3/4 of an acre. Let's go down and figure out what these people paid for this one. So we can see in 2024, they paid 1.125. We're starting to see a trend here. Let's look through a couple more. Let's see, we have 3.5 million, 4.6 million. Let's see what some of the more pricey lots are going for. Let's see this one for 5.25 million. It was on a 3/4 acre lot. Let's go see what their acquisition price was on this. 1.175 million in 2023. All right, so just from right here, we can see between $1 million and $1.2 million is a rough range of what people are paying for these 3/4 acre lots. Keep in mind, this was in 2023 and 2024. Natural appreciation happens with all of these lots. So let's now figure out what lots are going for in current market conditions. So we're going to get rid of the year built. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into these areas and we're just going to look at when these houses were originally built. So let's go look. Right next to this 3.95, we have all these other properties that are similar lot size. Let's take this one, for example. $1,050,000 is what the Zestimate is, and it's a 3/4 acre lot. The first thing I'm going to tell you is you're probably noticing the Zestimate on this property is $1,051,000. And all of the other properties we just saw were going between 1.1 and 1.2 million. That is the beautiful thing about luxury real estate. We have properties that the Zestimate is far less than what we can assign it for, and we can actually go to these sellers and offer them more than their Zestimate for their property and still make $100,000 plus on all of these deals. What is the reason for that, you ask? Here's the reason. This house is 1,500 square feet, built in 1966. The way the Zillow algorithm works is it takes the average price per square foot in the neighborhood and it multiplies it by the square footage of the house, and you get $1,051,000. Imagine being able to go to a seller and offer them $50,000 over what their Zestimate is and still be able to assign it to a developer for 1.2 million. That's exactly what we're doing here. So we see 1966. Let's click on a couple more in the neighborhood, because what we're trying to find right now is when these teardowns were built in this neighborhood, and that'll give us a good idea of what we want to target. Let's pick a couple other random lots in the area. Let's click this one, see the year built, another 3/4 acre built in 74. So we have 66, 74. Let's click on this one, $1,080,000. Look at all the estimates on these. These are all less than what we're able to assign these properties for. All these estimates are in our favor. Imagine having a conversation with the seller and being able to bring up this estimate and say, yeah, I think that's actually a little low. I think I'm willing to offer you more than that because there's not much inventory out there. So we see 1963. So what we see from just looking at those three properties is we're seeing a lot of stuff built in the 60s up to the low 70s. So in order to find what lots are going for present day, we're going to go to sold, and then we're going to go down to the same year built, and we're going to do the max. We only want to see stuff built pre-1980. The reason for that is because we didn't see any properties that were built after 1980 that were teardowns. So we're going to hit apply. Just look at the price that these houses are going for, 1.3 million. Let's look at this one. This one closed a couple months ago for 1.3 million, just under an acre lot. We have $1,050,000. We have 1.56, 1.35. All of these houses, guys, are teardowns. How can we tell that they're teardowns? Look at the current square footage of the house. If you were to remodel this, no matter how well you did the remodel, you can't get an exit price high enough for 2,300, which is why these developers are coming in. And instead of having a 2,300 square foot remodeled house, they're tearing the house down and building 5,000 to 8,000 square feet on lots just like this, and exiting for between 3.5 to 5, 6, 7, 8 million in this neighborhood. There's tons of markets out there that the numbers range, but in this specific one, that's what we're looking at. So look, 0.8 acre lot just sold for 1.35 million. These are developers buying these. And keep in mind, we just saw all these estimates. Let's just zoom in on some of the houses right around this. We're seeing estimates of $1,080,000, $1,040,000, 1.18. The list goes on and on, guys. You can see them all right here, 1.19, $1,050,000. Imagine being able to lock stuff up where the estimate is at and still make 100,000. That is what we were able to do here. So now what we found out from this quick search in this little market is that around this area right here, we're going to draw a little map around it. Around this area is where properties are being sold for over what the estimate is. And we're seeing that 3/4 acre lots up to acre lots are going anywhere from 1.1 million to 1.4 million. So a quick overview now. This is the market that we just went through a ton of examples. What we found here is that developers are buying properties in this area and developing them into $4 to $6 million houses. The type of properties they're buying are 3/4 of an acre up to an acre properties. So what we're going to do, we know that all those properties are now going for between 1.1 up to 1.35, 1.4 million. So what we're going to do is pull every single house pre-1980, because that's all the ones the developers are building. We're going to pull all of those and we're going to go market to those sellers. And we already have developers that are waiting for these deals because we can see that they're buying them consistently.
So step number one in picking a luxury market, you're just going to pull up Zillow and you're going to search for areas where you can find pockets of new build properties that are worth $1 million plus. Remember, the more expensive, the better. From there, you're going to figure out the lot size of these properties and what the exit price of these new builds are going to be. Then you're going to backtrack through the pricing history to figure out what they had sold for. And then by looking at recently sold data, looking for similar type properties based on square footage, you'll find what the average year build of these properties are. From there, segment out the data. You need to know exactly what the boundaries are so that we can move on to step number 2 and actually pull a list focusing on that exact market.
All right, so now what we're going to do is take all that information we just learned and go in and pull a list. So what we're going to do is we're going to find that area that we were just looking at, and it's right here. It's this corridor right here between, what is this road? Scottsdale Road and Shea right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a map in that area because we know that's where the new builds are happening. Just like this, we're going to hit search. And right off the bat, we have 1,165 properties. So what we're going to do from there is we're going to filter out based on everything we learned with the year built, the size of the lots, and everything like that earlier. So we're going to go down to property details. We're going to do year built, max 1980, just like we did on Zillow. We are going to do lot size. We only want stuff that's 3/4 of an acre and bigger. So let's do 30,000 square foot lots plus. That already brings us down to 576. We want to make sure they're all residential and they're all single family. The last thing we want to do that's important for these is the ownership information. We don't want any properties that have been owned for 1 to 2 years. Why is that? Because they're most likely already developers that bought these. No one is buying a 1,500 square foot house for 1.2 million and moving into it. So in order to get rid of that, we're going to do a minimum ownership of 5 years. That brings us down to 287 properties. We're going to click view. Here is all the properties that fit the builders and developers buy box. And we are going to save them all. We're going to add them to a list. And we're going to type out everything we know that we used in pulling that list. So we're going to do 85254, which is the zip code. We're going to do 3/4 of an acre plus. And we're going to do 5-year ownership, 1980 year built or before. That's just going to tell us all the parameters that we searched in, so we know when we go to skip trace this list that that's the one.
Once you have your list skip traced, the way that we're actually reaching out to these owners is by mass text message. Now you might be thinking, Tyson, are you crazy? This isn't 2021. Mass texting doesn't work anymore. Well, I'll tell you, number one, you're wrong. It does work with traditional wholesaling. But number two, we have found that this is actually the best method to reach out to these luxury homeowners. Guys, these are a lot of high profile wheeling and dealing people. They don't want to answer a virtual assistant's cold call, but when you send the right text message to them, it's going to perk their interest. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, what we use for this software, there is none other that's better. It is Smarter Contact. With Smarter Contact, there is one big thing. You need to be using one of the elite plans, which start at $7.99 a month. Now, keep in mind, $7.99 a month plus your data, $100 a month, plus the skip tracing. Well, that list that we just skip traced with 300 records was like $30, right? We're still way under the normal cost for somebody to run a wholesale business. So once you get a Smarter Contact account set up, which we have a discount code that we put up on the screen right now, this will get you $200 off your first month of Smarter Contact, and you get your 10 DLC approval, so you can go ahead and send texts. Here's exactly what you're going to do. Number one, you're going to need to upload your contacts into Smarter Contact. Super easy process. Go to contacts, upload. I'm going to go ahead and grab our skip tracing file. It's going to upload the list. We press next. We're going to go ahead and map the fields. First name, last name, street address, property city, property state, property zip, mailing address, mailing city, mailing state, mailing zip. Now for the important stuff. Phone 1, phone 2, phone 3, and I believe Smarter Contact only allows for 4 phone numbers, but I could be wrong. Eventually it'll okay, yep. And then you can add emails on here as well. It just helps in like the your lead information, but you don't necessarily need to do it. From there, once we've mapped it all, we'll just go ahead and verify contacts. Now here you have some options here. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn those off. You do what you wanna do. And from there, perfect. We have found 657 valid mobile phone numbers. All we're gonna do here is go ahead, we're gonna change this and we're gonna name it exactly what we called it before, which is 8525834 plus 5 years ownership.
85254.
85254. Boom. Perfect. And from there, we're gonna push it to a campaign. Campaign name, you'll never guess. 8525434 plus 5 years ownership. And again, this is just so we stay organized. We already have our contacts selected right here. Boom, thank you very much. So now let's go ahead and set up some text message templates that we're gonna be sending to these people. They need to show, number 1, we know what we're talking about. Number 2, we are professionals and we're the kind of people they wanna deal with. And number 3, we're not here to waste any time. So let's go ahead and write these together. I'm gonna call this Lux Message 1. Now, the reason why you need the elite plan is you need to be able to take this out. So it actually looks like somebody's texting them. If it has this in here and you can only take this off if you're on an elite plan, I believe, we want it to feel like, hey, somebody's actually texting them, because we are. Anyway, I'm gonna start out all my messages with just a hey, first name. This is just a custom field that will automatically put their first name. I'm gonna say, this is Tyson. I work with developers in AZ. We're looking for deals, or we're looking for properties in your area. Would you be interested in selling address? Now, here's the magic. Now, look, we could just send this message and this would be fine, right? We'll get some responses, but I really want to minimize the amount of time I have to spend doing this and maximize the amount of time I'm closing $100,000 plus deals. So I'm going to add in something else. As you can see, I'm going to run over my character limit. So it's going to cost me 2 messages, but that's no problem since on the Elite Plus plan, which I'm on the max plan, I think I've got like 50,000 messages I can send a month. Let's see, what should we do here, Matt? 1 million to 1.2 million?
Yeah, let's do 1 to 1.2. Yep.
So as you can see here, I'm just saying, hey, it's me. I work with developers in Arizona. We're looking for properties in your area. Would you be interested in selling your address? Not here to waste time. We're going to be somewhere in the 1 to 1.2 million range. Cash, no realtor fees. Worth a chat? Boom. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to craft 8 similar text messages. I'll go ahead and show you the first one, and then we can go ahead and just fast forward the rest. It's all going to be about the same stuff. So once you've gone through and you've created all of your message templates, you're then going to go ahead and select some phone numbers. You can buy these right in Smarter Contact. I think they cost $1 or $2 a month. I'm not sure. The more phone numbers you have, the better. I don't know. I'm going to use 4 on this one. Schedule a campaign. No, I just want to go ahead and send it out right now. Send all messages at once. Yes, you can send them out over time. However, I'm experienced with this. I'm able to deal with them really quickly. So then we set it up. So it waits a day. And if they haven't responded, we're going to send them a quick little follow-up text. It's just going to be just something very conversational to try and get them to maybe respond. Maybe they got it, whatever, they were busy. But this is going to go ahead and catch you a lot more people. So if somebody got the first text, never replied, we say, hey, just want to follow up, any interest? Look forward to hearing from you. Then boom, we are good to go. Once we've done all that, we're ready to go ahead and send the campaign, which we're going to do right now. It's going to prepare it. Now, all we have to do is, again, in order to stay compliant, we actually manually have to send all of these texts. And the way that this system does it is we have to individually text all of them. As you can see, it's sending out, it's shuffling through the messages, it's shuffling through the phone number it's sending from, and it's sending to all these people these different messages handcrafted to them, saying we are interested in buying their home. So I'm simply going to sit here, press my space bar 657 times. It's going to send out all of these messages. And then we're going to go into the messenger and start to see the responses and start to show you how we're actually going to do the acquisitions portion of this and actually talk to these people. Okay. And the hardest part of the entire process is over. So from there, we go into the messenger. This is going to have all the unread. However, I just want to limit it to just this campaign. Now, obviously, you're going to take it's going to take a minute to start to get some responses back, but that is the gist. So in review, you're going to go ahead and pull a list segmenting the properties in that area that you found. You're going to make sure to filter it out by property type, right? We only want single family homes. The lot size, remember we identified that these properties were between 0.8 and 1 acres. The year built of the properties, they were being torn down and rebuilt, and then the years of ownership, because we don't want people who just purchased a property and are already doing this process. You then are going to skip trace and export that list as a .csv so you can upload it into Smarter Contact, and then you're going to send a campaign just like I just showed you how. From here, it's now time to actually work these leads, respond to the ones who are interested, and make them offers. We're going to show you exactly what those conversations should look like. As you can see, we've already getting responses. We have 3 not interested, and we already have a person who's interested. We can just go ahead, click info. So as we can see, you click the Zillow link, it'll bring you right to the property. Now, already we have a glaring red flag. This property is for sale with a price cut of $104,000, and it is well below the amount we're looking to pay. Other than that, it looks like a perfect match. Clearly a teardown, 2,600 square feet. It's built in 1970. It's on a beautiful 0.8 acre lot. So obviously there has to be something wrong with this property. Let's go ahead and find out why. Oh, well, there's a glaringly obvious thing. Matt, you want to go ahead and share?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Shea and 64th Street right there, those are 2 major streets. On Zillow, all the major streets are always gray, just like that. The reason that builders aren't building on lots like this is because one of the key things people want when they're spending $4 to $7 million for a new build is privacy. And they don't want road noise either. So that house is right at the corner of a major intersection. It's going to have a lot of road noise, and it's not going to be private, which is why a 0.34 or 3/4 of an acre lot in that area is only $900,000 and not selling, because people want interior lots, meaning away from the road noise and more privacy.
If that same property could just be found somewhere over in here, it would literally, we're talking about a $500,000 difference. You guys know what they say in real estate: location, location, location. And you know, if you're any bit of experience in wholesaling, you know that if a property is on a main road in traditional wholesaling, we're taking off 10, 15% of ARV. It gets even bigger when it comes to luxury properties. So once we do start getting replies of people who are interested, the way we're actually going to get on the phone is going to be a lot different than what you're doing in traditional wholesaling. Remember, we're not calling these people going over, hey, you know, let's tell me about the property. What's the age of the AC? What's the age of the roof? These things simply do not matter in the luxury game. Remember, for these properties we're reaching out to, they're planning on tearing them down anyway and building something else. Instead, our conversations are going to be much more focused around the fact that we're offering a private transaction. It's off market. They're not going to have people trouncing through their home, every single Tom, Dick, and Harry who wants to come take a look, right? It's not going to be on the market. None of their neighbors are going to know they're selling, which is a really big deal for a lot of these people in these luxury areas. We're focusing on speed, convenience, and surety, the fact that the transaction's actually getting done. Matt, you want to go ahead and give them a brief overview of how these conversations typically look?
Yeah, so the way these conversations go with these luxury sellers is the most important thing you got to realize with these people is time is very, very important to them. It's not like the average seller for $500,000 that has the time to waste an hour on a call with every single person that calls them interested in their property. Time is very, very valuable to these people. Because we know that, and because our underwriting is so different from traditional underwriting, we're able to start talking about numbers right off the rip with these people. From a lead coming in to me being able to decide what I'm able to offer for it happens immediately. Why? Because we do all the work on the front end. We know exactly what our buyers are willing to pay for these properties before we even start talking to the sellers. Because of that, we're able to jump in to a price discussion right away. I always love telling people I'm not going to waste your time and then immediately telling them the range I'd be in. Another great thing about this is I can tell them with complete honesty that I'm able to net you damn near or at what you would get on the market. Why am I able to do that? I'm not going to tell them this part, but I'm able to do that because there's no inventory for luxury properties for these developers to buy on the market. So the developers are willing to pay market value off market with us. So we're able to go to these sellers and say, hey, Look at the comps around you. 1.2 million, 1.25 million. At that number, you're going to pay around $100,000 in closing costs. So my offer to you is 1.1 million. You don't have to deal with any of the same things you did on the market, and you'll net the same amount. And then the great thing about that is when they say yes and we get it under contract, we have a built-in buyer already who's going to be eager to do a deal. Why are they going to be eager to do a deal? Because they just sold some right around the corner and made millions of dollars on them, and they're waiting for the next one.
So once you start getting people who are interested, you're going to immediately call back these interested sellers, get them on the phone, and get into your acquisitions process. If they don't immediately answer, call them back again. We always double dial still. Leave them a message and shoot them a text to set up a different time that'll work for a phone call. On these calls, the main things you are selling are privacy, speed, convenience, and certainty. And you need to be stressing the fact that you're going to be offering about the same as they net on market. Because remember, we're able to sell these deals for pretty much what they would sell on market in these markets where there's such high demand for these luxury developments.
All right, guys, the great thing about these deals is after you get a seller on the phone, we're not going through the normal BS that we do with traditional sellers, asking about roof condition, air conditioning unit, how old it is, all those things. Those things don't matter. What matters is the size of the lot and what the seller needs. Through our mastermind, you're going to learn about all the niche things we can use to negotiate with these people. An example of that is I had a property about 2 months ago where the seller needed the funds from the closing of their property to buy their next house. They were an older couple downsizing, but they didn't have $1 million sitting on the sideline to go buy their next property. So what we were able to do for them is give them a couple months post occupancy. We closed on the house. The sellers had cash in hand, and they were able to go buy their next house or go look for their next house or do whatever they need to do with that money while still staying in their house. Why are they able to do that, you ask? The reason is because these builders need time between closing and starting construction to get permits, to get a survey done, to get city approval, to get architectural plans. The list goes on, but that process takes a couple months. So through our mastermind, you're going to be able to learn all the different skills and niche nuances to this business that help you get more deals, and sellers will be smiling and happy at the end of the process, and referrals will be something that come in all the time.
Which is a great point because, guys, when it comes to luxury, it's a small world and the business is exponential. Meaning once you've done one deal, guys, these people do talk, and all of a sudden the developers, they start talking, to their developer friends like, yeah, we actually got this from Matt and Tyson. And then all of a sudden you have other people reaching out. And same thing with the sellers, right? Guys, again, these people will be thanking you. They love the fact that we offer this solution to them that genuinely gets them the same amount of money with a fraction of the hassle is huge for them. So they're telling their neighbors, their friends who are then reaching out to you. This is a huge referral game. And so once you've stacked a couple of these deals, still doing what we're talking about, it just becomes to grow exponentially as word gets out that you're in business. Uninterested. John wants us to get lost. Oh, fuck.
Oh,
no.
Oh,
I didn't put the fucking.
You didn't put the
right.
brackets.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, guys, don't do what I do, which is actually make the messages on a YouTube video and then forget to change the brackets. So you actually send out a wave of messages like this. You guys are watching bloopers in real time. No matter, we're still gonna make money from this. Look how nice these people are.
This person said good luck. The good thing is we don't need the luck because everything you're going to learn in our mastermind is going to teach you exactly how to do this.
All right, let's go ahead and call this guy. So this guy says that he has a, and by the way, guys, we just click call and it'll call right from, hopefully this doesn't mess up the Zoom audio. I don't know if it will. I'm just going to call him from my cell phone just in case because it might mess up the Zoom audio. Guys, so you on Smarter Contact, you can just click call and it'll call him directly from the number you texted him. I'm actually gonna call from my cell phone just because we are recording this and I don't want it to mess up the audio and I want to be able to capture all of this. All right, didn't answer. I'm gonna say just tried to give you a ring from my cell.
Yeah, see if he'll share more information about it.
Let's go ahead, mark this guy as a lead. No, our house is worth over 3 million, and then he laughed at the message. Not interested.
I wonder if it really is.
Not at this TOK time. Thank you. Absurdly not worth a chat.
All right, guys. Now I'm going to show you exactly how to dispo these luxury deals and how we find the buyers. So what we're going to do is go on Zillow. We're going to go to the same zip code that we just pulled that list from. We're going to filter out the same filters. We're going to go to more. Oh, it's already there. Year built 2023. Why do we do that? We want to find people that have built in the last couple of years in the market that we're pulling in, and that will get us the buyers. So here we go. Here is the area. And as we can see right away, there's all these luxury homes that have sold. The great thing about this is when we click on this description, let's go down. All right, here we go. Mystery Homes proudly presents a striking new example of modern elegance. What that tells me right off the bat is Mystery Homes built this. We're going to go over to trusty Google. Let's do Mystery Homes, Arizona. Bam, here we go. We are building quality homes in Arizona. Portfolio. Oh, here's the magic button. Contact us. What we know is that Mystery Homes built a house at 6702 East Choya Street. We know that they paid 1.1 million in 2023 for a 3/4 of an acre lot. So right here, we already have Mystery Homes phone number. How easy was that to find that buyer? We're going to call these people and say, whoever answers, say the name is Joe. Hey Joe, my name is Matthew with Lux Blueprint. I'm calling about your property on Choya Street. I saw that you recently sold that. Congratulations on that. It was a beautiful home. The reason I'm calling is because I have another off-market property in the area. It's a 3/4 acre lot, and it fits the exact building envelope for the one you just did. Any interest? The amount of times you're going to hear no from someone like that is very, very small. Why? Because the amount of inventory is so low and these buyers are desperate for these deals. So right there, we were able to find a buyer in about 5 minutes who we were able to get his phone number and we were able to call him. And we know that this person took down a deal, built this house and exited for over $4 million, 4.6 million. That is a perfect buyer. We can go do that again with another one. Let's see. All right, let's see this one. This sold for 4.8 million in 2025. It's 6,300 square feet, 3/4 acre lot. Let's go down to the listing description, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes they don't have who the builder was. Let me look. All right, so here's an example where we don't have the name of the builder. All right, so we don't have the builder here, but we do have is who the property was listed by. Christy Rios with Keller Williams. So what we're able to find there is this is the agent that listed this property for them. We can go in and find out, has this agent listed other properties for them? But what we know is that this agent listed this house and sold it for 4.8 million. Why is an agent someone that would be good to call for a deal like this? Here's why. The agent wants to do a deal with us and bring it to their developer, and they're incentivized to sell that deal on our behalf. Why are they incentivized? Because they're going to get a listing on the back end of 4.8 million, just like they did with this one. And the great thing about our spreads is say the acquisition price is right in the median of 1.1, 1.2 million. We'll say 1.1 million for a lot. The average agent is going to make about 2.5% on a deal like that. So 27,000. We are happy to take care of those agents and pay them 27,000 when we lock something up at 1.1 and we're assigning it to them at 1.25. We're still making $125,000 while still taking care of the agent. And if we can't find who the direct builder is, the agent's the next best step because 2.5% is nothing compared to the fees that we're going to be making on these deals. And you can go through and do this with every single new build in this area. We can go down. This one's currently for sale, 5.7 million on an acre lot. Let's go through and see if the name of the builder is in here. Nope, no name of the builder in this one, but what we do have is who it's listed by. I would call him, ring, ring. Hey, Vincent, my name's Matthew with Lux Blueprint. I saw you have a listing over here on Paradise Drive. It's a beautiful home. I was wondering if you guys are looking for any more properties in the area. I have a teardown. It's a 3/4 acre lot. It looks like exactly what you guys are buying right now. Is that something you'd be interested in? The answer is most likely 99.9% of the time going to be yes, especially from the agents because they're incentivized, like I said, because they want the listing on the back end. But even more so, if you can find the person who built the house in the listing description, bingo. Or what we could do, the third thing is skip trace this address, find who the buyer was, and that might connect you either to the builder or the investor behind the deal. And instead of having to pay that 27 grand, we make the whole 150,000. In a nutshell, that's exactly how we go find these buyers by seeing the properties that are for sale and sold in the area, and we already know that they're real buyers doing these deals because they have them right before our eyes. And the beautiful thing is we have their contact information at our fingertips. Is that fine, or do you want me to go more into?
Fantastic.
Hello,
Hey, is this?
speaking.
Hey, my name's Matthew. I was just looking online. I saw you sold a property over on
Mm-hmm.
I was calling to see if you guys, you or maybe some of your investors were interested in more lots in the area. I have a property right down the street. It's off market currently. It's a 3/4 of an acre lot, and was seeing if that was something you guys are still actively looking to buy.
What are you asking for it?
It's going to be 1.2.
It's a vacant lot?
It's a vacant lot, yes.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't be, but thank you.
Okay, what are you guys interested in right now?
Something that, I mean, that's way too much for a vacant lot over there.
1.2 is too big for a vacant lot over there. What would you need to be price-wise on something like that? Because it looks like you bought this one for 1.5. That was an acre.
Yeah, but it had a 3,000 square foot house on it.
And you guys just built new on it?
No, we remodeled.
Okay, where would you need to be price-wise for something like that?
I have no idea without looking at what it is and, where it is and what it backs to. And, I just couldn't, that'd be like asking.
This is why agents suck.
It just all depends on what it is.
Cool. Okay. Sounds like you don't want another deal right now. All good.
Thanks.
How crazy is that?
Dude, they are so fucking bad at their job. It's crazy.
He just immediately said off the rip without knowing anything about the property. No, probably not. What are you guys interested in? I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
That guy's working for somebody and just sold how expensive was that property?
$4.8 million. I mean, he just made on that deal 4.8 million times, let's say 2.5%. He made $120,000 and didn't give me the time of day. That is crazy.
It's actually fucking criminal, dude.
I mean, he treated me like I was an asshole calling him about a deal.
That is insane.
My name's Matthew. I was calling about you. I saw you had a listing on, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
So I was calling because I have a home in the area that's off market on an acre lot, and I was calling to see if you guys are actively looking for anything else in the area.
As far as like buyers or listings,
Yeah, it would probably be a tear down. It's like a 2,300 square foot house, but it's on an acre lot.
okay. Yeah, I mean, we personally don't think I have a client that matches that need right now. But definitely can keep it in mind.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, do you want to just text me the address?
Yeah,
So I can look at it?
perfect. Yep, sounds good.
Awesome. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
All right, talk soon.
You bet.
Just imagine for a sec you have a listing for 5 point something million from
Dude,
a developer who built it, and you say, oh, we don't have a client for that at the moment. Your client's the person who just fucking built this.
So in order to dispo your luxury deals, again, you're just going to be using Zillow. You're going to look at the listing descriptions of other new build properties in those target price points to find the builder's names. If you're unlucky and the builder's name is not in there, go ahead and call the agent. It's perfect to build a relationship with them. Also, not to mention when you build a relationship with them and possibly sell your deal, but you now have somebody who knows you do deals, who might bring you deals in the future. Or alternatively, you can just skip trace the address, call the owner of the entity that sold it. It might take some digging to go around and find these things, but with skip tracing, ChatGPT, and the internet, you'll be able to find this stuff. And remember, when you're talking to these buyers, you want to keep the conversations brief and value driven. I put here an excellent little phrase to use. Hey, saw you sold that place on Troy Street for 4.6 million. Looks like you got the lot for 1.2. Would you be interested in an off-market deal for a similar parcel that's around the corner? And boom, you're in there. So follow these steps. You'll be able to dispo luxury deals. And when you put it all together, it's going to look just like this.
All right, guys, here is a perfect example. This is someone that reached back out to me from a text blast from Smarter Contact. I was able to negotiate with them. I got the property for $1,050,000. Why, you ask? It looks like a decent property. But here's the thing, you gotta remember 2,500 square feet. The highest and best use for a property like this is a new build. So I called a builder who did one right down the street and I said, hey, I have an off-market property available. It fits all the parameters that the one you just sold did. Are you interested in any more? He said yes. I sent him this deal at 1.15. He said, love the deal, let's do it. I sent him the assignment contract. 30 days later, I got paid $100,000 at closing from this property we're looking at right in front of us.
So there you have it, guys. Follow these steps and you will be closing your first $100,000 plus assignment fee from learning how to wholesale luxury real estate. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about wholesaling luxury real estate, go ahead, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions that you feel like we didn't answer, leave them in the comments below. But if you're a person who's like me, who finds something and knows it's something they want to do and they want to get there as quickly as possible, we might have something that could be a good fit. We've actually opened up a few spots for our Lux Blueprint Mastermind, where we will hold your hand through the entire way of learning how to wholesale luxury real estate. This is not for beginners. If you are currently doing wholesale deals, you are an experienced real estate investor, or you're experienced in real estate, then this could be for you. We will hold your hand by showing you exactly what markets to be in. We'll help you pull your first lists. We'll show you exactly what to say when you're reaching out to these people. We will even underwrite all your deals, so you know exactly how much you should be offering and what you can sell these properties for. We will help you connect your deals with buyers so that you know you'll get paid. If you want a true hand-holding experience where we will give you a business in a box to where you will be able to successfully wholesale luxury real estate, get out of the rat race that, as you can see, is the traditional wholesaling game, and join the future where people are going to be making a shitload of money wholesaling real estate, this could be for you. All you need to do is click the link below, fill out a short application, and if it seems like we'll be a good fit, a member of our team will reach out to you. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.